Kendall, what is up?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Where is vacation at, by the way?
Just at home really. I live in
Okay.
New Hampshire, so I just stayed locally.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
yeah.
I just can't see you.
Oh yeah, I can't see you either.
Oh, hold on. My fault. Jeez. Hold on. Jeez.
That's
Here we
okay.
go. Hold on. There we
Oh,
go.
I see you. Yeah, I see you now. Hi.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah,
It's my old age that I forget to do this stuff.
it's fine.
So you're out in New Hampshire, is that correct?
It is. Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So tell me a little about yourself. Like today's call is all about you. All right. So I just want to figure out like what we're about, why we're trying to go online, and maybe some challenges that we're facing. Cool.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
All right. Give me a rundown. What's going on? What's been going on?
So in February of 21, no, 22, I fell skiing. I've been skiing my whole life and I tore my ACL and meniscus and I had surgery last year. And I've been into wellness and whatnot for most of my life. Like I've been very athletic, but that really took me for a loop. And I just wanted to throw down the towel. Like it was the hardest recovery I've ever been through. And I work in an operating room. So I knew what they were going to do to me. I'm a surgical tech. And it was just really hard to surrender. And then full circle, I eventually, right before Christmas, wanted to get help. And I knew this girl who was an online fitness coach, and she um, reached out to me when I inquired, and it was going great. And then the problem was that I put her on a pedestal, and she ended up changing the way that she did the program, and not having that one-on-one and stuff was really difficult for me. And I didn't really like counting macros all the time. Like I didn't have a good relationship with food, but I lost the weight and then gained it back. So then I partnered with Body, which is formerly Team Beachbody. I'm sure you know what they are. And I did that years ago too, and lost like 20 pounds. And I tried to do the business and I just wasn't ready for it. Um, Also, additionally, I'm in recovery. Like I have 3.5 years clean. I'm in Narcotics Anonymous fellowship. I know we keep anonymity, but like that's part of my life. And like I know I can't keep what I have if I don't give it away. So I started doing the Body program, and I saw, because one of my friends in the fellowship is doing it as well. And I was like, oh, that's not for me. Like, nope, that's a scam. Nope, nope. And then I looked at it and it completely changed their forum and their goals. Like they have mindset, they have meditation. Those are all of the things that I've been working on with my therapist. So I joined, and then I just finished a month program and I feel significantly better. I believe in the products. I believe in what it's doing for me holistically for my health. I'm actually weaning off of my anti-anxiety medication right now because I don't want to take it. I want It's a band-aid. I believe that like if people need medication, don't get me wrong, like then you need to do that. But for me personally, my goal was never to stay on it. I went on it after my surgery because I just was losing it.
Yeah.
And so come full circle, I'm weaning off of it. I've been doing this program and I just believe in it, and I want to learn more about how to grow my business. And I'm not even doing this because I mean money is great, but I'm doing it because I actually care about people and I want them to have what I was able to receive. And also, I don't even have any intentions of quitting my full-time job. I love my job so much. My goal is to be a teacher. I applied for a teaching position not long ago there. So, but I can't have any of that stuff if I don't take care of my mind and my body and my spirit. And that's where I am today. And then I came across your company on Instagram.
I like it.
That's my story.
You got a dope story. I'm taking notes. So I was like, man, she's got a really cool story here. So it sounds like let me start over. You're out in New Hampshire. Okay. So you're a surgical tech. You
Mhm.
went through this vicious recovery when you got a skiing accident. It took a ton of toll on you, like mentally and physically. You already knew kind of what to expect because you've been in the operating room. That caused a lot of problems. And then you got with an online coach. It started off going fairly well, but then the one-on-one support really wasn't there like you wanted it to. The relationship with food was a little bit off. And then from there, you got partnered with the speech body program. It kind of showed you a different system. You started believing the system, you started trusting it. You also saw how people were getting impacted by it. And now you started being like seeing like there's something to this. Like if I can help other people, take care of themselves, mind, body, and soul, I want to be a part of that. I'm not doing it necessarily for the financials, but hey, secondary source of income would be nice. But our main focal point is we want to give people more purpose, more fulfillment. And it sounds like you have a gift that you want to share, and you're not willing to like just hold it to yourself anymore. We got to get it out there. We got to let our message be heard. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
I
100%.
like it. I like it. Cool. So what do you feel like is the biggest challenge to get this thing going?
So the biggest challenge is when I originally was a coach, first of all, I wasn't clean yet. I was amidst like figuring out, like I was going to school to be a surgical tech. I went back to school. So my life was a little like all over the place. But this was the one thing I had that I really enjoyed. And the problem that I found was I didn't like how ingenuine I felt sending cold messages to people. It actually put damper in some of the friendships that I was trying to build with people. And granted, that could have been outside things too, but like it just didn't feel nice looking back years later and seeing like, hey, come join this account. Like just the script. Like
Yeah.
I was scripted into this, and that's fine. Like that coach doesn't even do this anymore, and she does airborne. Like that's great. Like you do you, whatever works best for you. I'm not judging, but for me personally, I'm judging myself because I don't want to script people and do that to them. I
Yeah.
want to actually feel heard and like have a one-on-one conversation with them and make them feel a part of. I'm also a sponsor, and that's what I do for my sponsees. Like, you can't script things that are important to you. Like, you just can't live off. We don't live off of a script.
100%. Now, initially, like what we do is we help individuals kind of tailor how to have a conversation. There's some individuals that don't even know how to have a conversation, right? They're like not sure where to start. So we give you a script that you can change based upon your own tonality just to get you comfortable, like making those moves. A lot of people come in, never sent a DM before. Now, obviously, since you've had, deeper connections, it's going to be easier for you to have a natural, normal conversation versus, hey, just come join this group. You could be coming from a genuine place of curiosity. So say, for instance, if you're DMing me, hey, Jeremy, I noticed that you liked a couple of my stories. I really appreciate, the support that you've been showing me. Out of curiosity, like I've seen you like a couple of my posts. I've seen you like a couple of my storylines. What are the couple of things that really resonate with you? Like what drew you to my page, if you don't mind me asking? And then I might say something like, okay, cool. So are you going through your own personal journey? So you're asking genuine conversations, which is leading us to, hey, I totally get how weight loss or addiction can can take a toll on you. Do you feel like you're in a spot where you're, looking to optimize your overall health, your wellness, your spirituality? Like, where are you at? And then that's where you might be able to start thinking, hey, I'm a coach. My name's Kendall. This is something that I do for individuals as well. I'd really be open to maybe having a 10 to 15 minute phone call to figure out if this is something that you could really benefit from. Are you opposed to that? Sure. Jump on the call. You know what? Hey, maybe we vibe. And you're like, Jeremy, I totally think that I got some steps for you that can really solve your problems and get you that next level. And then that we book our, next call, which would be like more like a 40 to 60-minute phone call where we're learning more about each other to making sure that we're good in alignment with one another. And at the end of that, you could say, hey, really feel like I can help you. I've been through these phases. You can kind of start showing me the different programs based upon your specific needs. This is where I'd probably, recommend you start at. Is this something that you're ready to commit to? And then boom. Did that seem at all scripted at all?
No, no. Like
Pretty natural, right?
That's how I would do it. But when I was however, when I was doing that, it was like they literally had a document of the same thing everyone's sending to each other. And it's like
Yeah.
I fell for that because I was vulnerable, and that's fine because it ended up being a great thing for me. But for other people, like you only can the only person who can be in your way is yourself. So I just want to help others. And I meant to say too, like with my story in the beginning, I actually started a podcast just for fun about my ACL journey. And there was a girl on my Instagram who messaged me saying she found me on Spotify and she listened to it and she had ACL surgery and it helped her. And it like made me cry. I don't even know who she is. I was like, that's great. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I could help you. And we never talked again, but I kept her in my follow. And then that's kind of what also started me thinking like, well, gee, maybe I could make something of this. It ended up being like falling was
Yeah.
the thing that ever happened for me. So it's how do I adapt that with body, because body, I'm not going to take what body does, right? And then like not give them the credit for what they've done for me and then put that together to make my own program where I have what they do and I'm like a resource, but then also I'm able to, it's still in the works, but then I'm also able to like provide something myself that I can give them. Like more so what I'm focusing on is mindfulness and like spiritual wellness. Because
Yeah.
with you can think you look great and whatever, and then you don't love yourself if you're not connected. So you got to tap into like all of the domains, and that's really where it seems very broad. I'm still figuring out like the very logistics of it.
And that's what will actually help tailor for it. So I love that you are very loyal to Body, but you're also helping build their company versus only building your own.
Yep.
So ideally, what we'd want to do is get you to where we're helping you kind of create your own business, your own platform, and your own programming. So that way you're not having to split any cost with anybody, and you're actually building up your own generational wealth, your own legacy, your own brand, essentially, right? So that way you're not having to like give anyone, any type of accreditation. You can always mention that maybe Body gave you this first idea, like it inspired you to want to create your own business. The cool thing is we actually have done for you programming already ready to go. So you're not having to spend so much time creating different workout programs. And if you want to add your own unique piece of like the mindfulness and spirituality, that's just something additional that we can always add on to that. But this would be essentially Kendall's program, not Body's, to be yours, right? So you could still, coaches have coaches, right? So I have a coach that I utilize, but he doesn't take a portion of my, my pay for what I do for other individuals. You're always learning from other people all the time, right? And so you're taking things that you like and you're adapting it to your day-to-day processes. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to show you really how to kind of find your niche, really figure out what problems you solve for individuals. And then based upon that, we can create our offer and pricing, and then we'll create programs around that as well. Does that make sense?
Does
Is that what you're looking?
Well, the only question I have is I actually do drink Shakeology and all of the other supplements that they provide.
Yeah.
And I know, you hear a lot of those stories like, oh, I drink my Shakeology every day and I lost weight. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, this all is a scam. But I actually am in a place financially with my job. Thankfully, I love my job that I'm able to purchase it every month to
Yeah.
and use it, and I like it. So I like their products too. So like it would be really nice to have my own thing, but also I use their products. So it's kind of like, okay, what do we do?
Definitely. So you can totally do that. So for instance, if you are a product of the product, it's easier to sell it because it works and you can speak on the things that have really benefited you. So essentially we'd have you coming, creating your own coaching program, but you could say, hey, if you're already part of that Body company, use my code and we have these different shakes. If your goal is weight loss, weight gain, I think they sell quite a bit of different things as far as skincare, all that stuff, right? So you could say, hey, based upon, say for instance, you're talking to me and I'm like, Kendall, I just work so much and it's hard for me to get like the proper amount of nutrients in. Like I'm working, I'm busy. You might say, hey, Jeremy, Shakeology is really a good option for you. And then you're going to give me the facts behind it, the amount of protein, amount of vitamins. You can use my code and you can save X amount %. And that way you're still doing your own thing, but you're also pushing products that work for you as well. And let me know if I'm wrong, but do you have like your own code to where you would get some type of commission, kind of like a Herbalife?
Oh, I remember Herbalife. I've done all the things.
So do you
Yeah,
get a commission?
they think they started that, but the thing is, so I have an upline right now who has a pretty decent upline, but she's kind of like taken a step back, I think, from the business because she said nobody was interested. So I've been like now pushing her now that I'm ready to do this when I wasn't ready before.
Yeah.
And like I really like the video that I watched because he talked about using WhatsApp. I use WhatsApp all the time because I go to meetings all over the world. Like I have an accountability group, not even body related right now, with women in recovery about fitness and wellness. And like we started that, and I don't know where to start with body because they've changed it so much. Like, so I know they have a code, but I don't know if it's like a code that you can use at all times. Like I know they had it for June because it's the end of their fiscal year and they're trying to sell more products.
So
I don't
usually,
know where to start with that stuff.
yeah, if you can find out, because usually if you're someone that's like in that program, you can, majority of those type of programs, you can opt into where you're becoming a distributor, right? So that way,
Right.
when you're pushing those products that work for individuals and you have a large client base and those individuals start getting it, you're also building your own little part-time business through Body, which is a great way to get extra income as well and help individuals reach their health and fitness goals a lot faster. So I'd probably, if I were you, reach out to them and figure out how you can be a distributor since you're already purchasing quite a few of their products. And usually how that works, you'd get like a starter pack or something, and then you'd be able to provide samples to individuals. And then if they wanted to sign on, they would have a code, which would be your code. And that way, every time they order from you, you're getting a certain percentage. That's usually how it works.
I was thinking of, I did reach out about that part that you just suggested. I don't want to take away from this call either. I was thinking about, I have like good friends who may not be interested, and I'm going to be like, hey, like, can you do me a favor? Could you think of 10 people in your network that would be interested in something like this? And then they have like a $14 trial pack with like the Shakeology, and then
Yeah.
send it to my friend as a gift for doing that for me.
Another great way too, if you have that stuff in your local community, I don't know if they have that locally, or if you have quite a few, you could literally, so we got out here in Omaha, I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, but we got a couple places that I know a couple of big wig guys that are, I'm not an Herbalife guy, but I do drink their teas because my buddy runs one of the shops. He's an owner. He's like on that top tier. He's making a boatload of money. But anyways, I used to go in there. I used to have my clients just meet with me for client check-ins. They get a tea, and I'm like, that they give you the breakdowns of the macros and the protein, and they enjoyed it because it didn't taste healthy. It tasted like a sweet treat, but it was actually really good for them.
Right.
So I was able to like sell those products, not even trying, because I had all my clients meeting me there. I would just buy them and say, hey, I want you to try something out. Let me know what you think about it.
That's
And
such
so
a, I
I
love,
didn't Yeah, so I didn't even try to sell them on it. I just like, hey, let me get you something. What do you have a sweet tooth for? And then they'd be like, damn, this is good. And I'm like, yeah, you can actually make these from home if you wanted. And then I'd go, hey, go to this website, click on here, and then they would order. I've done that with a bunch of different. Right now, I'm partnered with a supplement company out here, so I have a lot of my clients on specific supplementation. That supplement company in return gives me about 30 referrals a month because I support their business. So it's just another easy way for me to expand my local outreach as well. So if you're someone that is not super keen, like not a lot of people like to DM, but it's a necessary evil, right? But
right.
if you can maximize your local outreach and your networking. So say for instance, if these things work good for you, you could do 15-20-minute seminars. You go down to women in recovery shelters, things of that nature, and have conversations about health and fitness. That could lead to a lot of different referrals, things of that nature as well. So you got to think outside of the box. And that's how you're going to really grow your business even twice as much as well. Cool, man. I like where we're at. As far as what do you feel like you need? Like, what's your learning style? Do you like someone that's like very strict and structured? Do you like someone direct? Do you like a cheerleader? Like what's your learning style?
You can't sugarcoat anything with me. I'll try to manipulate you and get around stuff. You just have to say it how it is. Like, I don't like to disappoint people, but I'm a doer, So
Yeah,
you give me something and you give me a deadline, I'm gonna do it.
I
Like,
like.
literally, I
So
just
you
get stuff done.
so you thrive off of structure, like a consistent game plan that tells you exactly what you need to do.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
like it.
But I'm also flexible. Like in the OR, I have to be flexible. Like something can go wrong in a split second.
Yeah, 100%.
Uh, yeah. So I mean, I'm flexible with change, but change is something I struggle with. So having the structure is pretty nice, and having someone just be direct with me.
Yeah, 100%. Now, let me ask you about this. I know you like your job. I know you want to teach, but if this was something, and it's totally fine if you don't want to go the route of full-time coaching, but if this was something that like 3 times what you're currently making, would that be, and you're able to help more individuals, is this something that you would consider full-time?
Um, I honestly don't think that I would be ever willing to give up being a surgical tech. I just love it so.
Okay.
Like surgery is like art to me. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
something that, but it's just something I love. Like I don't think that right now I would, but when I start a family, I do want to be able to like go down to part-time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I, my mom taught me never have only one source of income.
Yeah, 100%. I like that. There's a lot of individuals that come to our program that are just like you. They love what they do, but this is just a great secondary source of income, and it allows them to reach more people and impact more lives. So totally cool with that. As far as financial goals, what would you like to see yourself bringing in additional on top of your surgical tech job?
Wow. So, I think this is dreaming pretty small. I would be happy with like $500 a month or like $100, like anything. Like literally, it would just make me feel so good to have a sale and know that that sale is making somebody else's life better. But if I were to have even like 500, starting off 500 to $1,000 a month, and the only reason I'm saying that is because I'm being realistic too, that I do have a other full-time job
Yeah,
and I have other responsibilities. I do service in my fellowship. Like I literally go to a women's jail once a month and I talk about recovery to them for an hour, like stuff like that. And it's like it's a day because it's an hour to get there, an hour to get home. It's an hour meeting. Like I can't be on my phone when I'm doing stuff like that. So being realistic that my service is like my service where my feet are at. When I'm in my business mode, I'm in my business mode. Does that
sure.
feel like I would love to just like name this number, but I would say like 500 to start off. I would be really happy even with that.
Yeah, let me give you some context behind that because that is very obtainable. So the industry averages for online training is anywhere between 250 on the very low end to 500 per month on the upper end. Okay. So say for instance, you are feeling qualified, you're feeling confident, you're excited about what you're doing. Let's just say on average, you're charging, let's just say $400 on average per client. Okay. If you had 10 clients, that gets you 4K a month right there. Okay. If you wanted 15 clients and your average package was around $400 per month, that's 6K a month. Okay. Now, bigger goal, if you had 25 clients in totality and you're charging around $400, that's 10K a month on top of your surgical tech job. So you're able to impact more people. You're able to travel more. You have more financial freedom. You have more stability. You have time to invest in the things that you want to do when you want to do them. Sound cool?
Yes.
All right, I love it. We're in a good spot. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over high level what we have to offer, and we'll actually deep dive into our very specific modules to show you exactly how I'm going to get you to your goals. Sound cool?
Sure.
All right, let me know when you can see my screen.
Okay. I see it. I just got to get my glasses because hard of seeing, and I'm on my little iPhone here. I have a mini phone.
All good, no problem.
I
Let me
can see
know.
it though.
Okay, cool. So as you know, we're the Next Level Coaching Academy. We're actually accredited through the Better Business Bureau. So we got a rating of an A out of a possible A plus, and we're backed by three of the largest certification companies in the world: ACE, NASM, and ISSA. Now, on the success ladder, we've got 2 tiers. We've got the 10K Accelerator, and we've got the Mastery Level Coach. Now, 10K Accelerator is going to be great for an individual such as yourself who is looking to make some impact on the online platform. The information in this course can get us from 0 up to 10K per month in as little as 4 months. Now, Mastery levels for individuals that are hitting 10K a month on a consistent basis, but their focal point is to hit 100K per month, kind of remove themselves from the coaching aspect and become more of a CEO, if that makes sense. So where we're at currently, we're really going to start building our foundation first. Would you agree?
Yes.
All right, cool. The program itself is really broken down into 4 phases. The first thing that we really want to focus on is getting you a couple clients right out the gate. Then we'll establish a solid business foundation. We're going to teach you how to generate leads organically so we can reach more people. We'll also develop sales and client retention strategies to help you reach, sustain, and surpass 10K per month. Now, on the support side of things, you'll have an assigned one-on-one coach the entire 4 months. This individual's completed both 10K and mastery levels, so they have a 6 or 7 figure business of their own built out the information in this course. You'll have a customized game plan and call that individual to review where you want to get to and the most efficient way to get there. You'll have one-on-one coaching calls every 2 weeks to revisit the game plan, make changes, receive feedback, and then get very specific instructions on what you need to execute. And then when you're averaging about 2 to 3 Zoom calls per week and you complete the sales modules, we'll introduce you to your sales coach. So this is going to be someone that's going to help you get a larger return of investment and close down those sales calls at a 40% clip or greater. You'll have bi-weekly roster group coaching calls, as well as 5 times a week of group support calls that accommodate your current 9 to 5. So those calls would go over client objection handling, client delivery, marketing, lead generation, mindset issues, even case studies. You'll also have 24/5 tech support. So outside of those game planning calls, you'll be able to text your coach as much as you like. They're contractually obligated to answer all of your questions. And I think you're really going to like this next one. Becoming a fitness entrepreneur is exciting, but it's also overwhelming at times. So we've created what we call the Zenpreneur method. We do weekly mindset calls, breath work, meditation, even journaling sessions, just to ensure you're in a good headspace to constantly move forward within your business. The reason I bring that up is because you mentioned that's something that you guys really have been focusing in on therapy as well. It's been a game changer for you. So we're implementing that with our students as well. So I think you'll really like that. As far as the resources go, you're going to have the accelerator course curriculum. You'll have that Zenpreneur method we just got done discussing. We'll also have done for you programming completed, and we'll also give you agency outsourcing options when you're ready to make specific changes or enhancements to your program. We offer an optional certification at no additional charge. That's equal parts fitness, equal parts nutrition. The test is 77 questions long. Got to get an 80% or better. It's open book. It's not timed, and you can take it as many times as you like. So we just offer that to help people feel a little bit more qualified, a little bit more confident when they're creating those nutritional guidelines and workouts. Any questions there?
I have a few questions.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, like, who are the coaches? Like, do you get paired with someone based off of what our call goes, like how our call goes, like with my personality, or?
Correct. So when I asked like, hey, what's like the type of individual that you like or the type of person you learn from best or your learning styles, you had mentioned direct, structured, game planning, encouraging and supportive, things of that nature. I'm going to pair you with someone that's going to be very ideal to what you had laid out.
Okay. And are the calls for like one-on-one and for groups flexible? And the only reason I ask is because, working in a hospital, I'm pretty structured with my time and my hours and things like that. So I want to make sure I can go to them, but I can't like leave work and come back either. I don't have
Correct.
that.
Yep. So your one-on-one coaching calls, your first one, you'll just book with your coach based upon their availability, like when you get on enrolled. But from there, you guys will start figuring out times way ahead of time that'll work for you for sure, that you can commit to. And then there's like a multitude of different group calls. So they are spanned from all different times and days to make sure that you're able to at least get to one per week.
Okay. And then you said that that you have book work to get more qualified for making content like working out, workouts, nutrition. I see that an online coach certification. I would be interested in that. Is that something that costs more, or is it included in the program itself?
It's all included. Yep. So no additional cost.
And then I had another question. And I forgot what it was because I was so focused on asking that. It'll come.
All right, so let's move forward. This is going to be the secret sauce to get you from 0 to 10K. There's going to be 4 phases. Phase 1 is act first. And what that means is we're going to launch our business. We're going to announce to the world who we are and what we're about, but we're going to implement very specific strategies we'll give you to get you your first couple clients. Phase 2 is organization and design. We're going to set up all of your back-end systems, make sure you're a legal business, and we're going to identify what problems you solve for individuals. Based upon that, we'll create our offer and pricing. So these first 2 phases will be done within that first month to month and a half. The remaining time will be in phase 3 and phase 4. So phase 3, developing consistency. We're going to teach you organic marketing strategies to expand your reach. We'll also generate leads with our community lead generation method, which we use WhatsApp group, as do you. So this will be easy for you. And then we'll also teach you basic sales funnel creations to close down deals more efficiently. Phase 4 is like the fine tuning of everything. We're going to maximize your sales skills. We're going to have consistent client delivery systems, but we're going to emphasize customer support and client retention to keep people happy for longer periods of time. Any questions on that?
No.
All right, let's move it on. This is the actual modules. This is the actual course right here. 32 total modules. Each module will have an overview link. It'll also be associated with videos. Both the videos and the link are tutorial style, so they'll show you exactly what to do. There's zero guesswork. So first step to becoming a full-time coach, we're going to implement very specific strategies to get your first couple clients right out the gate. The cool thing is a lot of the resources we give you are already done for you. So it makes your time more efficient. The 10K Accelerator Directory, I want you to view this as onboarding material that will help you become a better student. It really shows you how to maximize the program to its fullest capabilities. The roadmap is broken down into 2 phases. What do we need to do to get from 0 to 5K a month? And then what do we need to do to get to 5 to 10? So very clear expectations. You'll always know what to do there as well. Now, based upon your specific goals, we want to create daily and evening routines to ensure that we're on that right track. And then as far as mindset, this is something that you'll like as well. Anxiety, fear of failure, imposter syndrome, those are all natural, normal feelings, but we teach you how to move past that to move forward with your business. We've also identified the top 10 struggles you'll face as a fitness entrepreneur, but we've provided solutions behind each and every one of these. Now, administration systems is where things get interesting. Have you heard of ChatGPT?
No.
So ChatGPT is like Google on steroids. It's a high-power virtual assistant. It allows you to maximize time. So, for instance, you could set up SOPs. You could create content creation ideas in a matter of minutes. You can create programming, even nutritional protocols. Essentially, it's an application where you can type in, you could say, write me a 3-day-a-week workout for women, 30 to 35 full body workouts, and then boom, it'll create something within like a matter of seconds. And then that way you can look it over and change it. So it's great for efficiency. It really enhances the user experience. As far as backend systems go, we'll teach you Waiver, Stripe to collect payments, DocuSign for client agreements, Typeform and Calendly to book calls. We even utilize TrueCoach and Trainerize to upload all of your programming, all of your nutrition into one spot to make it more convenient for your clients. Same thing for your financial systems. We'll help you set up your LLC, get your employment identification number, tell you when to open up a business bank account, how to track what's coming in and out of your business, how to pay quarterly taxes, how to pay yourself, examples of business write-offs, business liability insurance, health insurance, anything legality we'll cover there. Now, the cool thing about this is if you were to file your LLC the traditional way, it roughly takes 2 to 3 weeks. We're partnered with a company called Taylor Brands. It's an AI company. This can be done within a matter of 2 to 3 minutes. So it's a fraction of the time. All your business legalities can be set up a lot sooner. Target setting, we're going to create your 3-year vision, your 1-year vision, your 3-month vision. We'll deep dive into your goals. And then from there, we're going to figure out what problem you solve for individuals. Based upon what problem we solve, we'll then create our offer and pricing. Is this going to be a more do it for you, do it with you, or do it yourself program? The more that you do and the more that you offer, the higher the ticket offer, which is established upon your length of terms. So we help with the structure of your pricing. Any questions on that so far?
No, but I thought of my question from earlier. So just so I understand correctly, your company creates or guides people interested into becoming coaches, and then you coach them on how to create their business, whatever that may be, and then help them to develop into what you said, like an LLC, to create their own business versus, like, for example, being a beach body coach. Like, instead of that, you're helping them create their own business.
Correct. From all the way from ground zero, all the way up to all the things from building your backend systems, your legalities, making sure you're a full legal business, to marketing, to teaching you how to do outreach, how to sell, how to provide the right type of offer, how to have client engagement and fulfillment, things of that nature, even the onboarding process. We cover everything from start to finish.
And then is your focus solely on like health and fitness
So we have
for
a ton, no, so it is geared for health and fitness, but we have a lot of like mindset coaches. So one of our coaches that's really successful, her name is Lacey. She is actually, funny story, I'm glad that we're on this call because she was, I think she worked in the ER, and during COVID, she is going through a divorce, had 2 kids, and she wanted a major change. So she had negative 8381 in her bank account. That's how broke she was.
mm,
She ended up getting a loan and she joined with us. And 6 months later, she was contracting 10K months on a regular basis. She went to become a full-time coach, and now she's actually our mindset coach, and she does weekly phone calls. So she has a whole team underneath her as well. Her focal point is mindset and wellness, but she also has programming, because you want to think about this, whether it's going to be holistic, spiritual, all that things, all those are naturally come together, right? If your physical health also helps your mental health as well, right? So all those things are going to be naturally combined. So we show you how we can actually implement your business idea and make it a profitable, impactful business for almost anybody. Does that make sense?
yes,
Cool. How are we feeling so far?
pretty good.
How are we liking it so far? Any questions?
Well, I mean, I do have one question too, but it's probably for later. Like, I wanted to know, because I know that you mentioned the success rates, and I saw that in the videos and whatnot. Do you have like policy procedure, like guidelines, things like that that I can look at? Do you offer, I do have to ask this, like, do you offer refund? Like,
Yep.
if a happy, like do you have that completely laid out on like refund and what that would look like? And um I guess I'm just curious on that too, because I want to make sure that I'm making an investment that is really going to help me. And I'm not saying anything about this company. Unfortunately, in the past, I've made investments that like were not good investments for me personally, and then I like lost money rather than gaining. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%. Those are all natural, normal fears. And you're right, we will definitely cover those, but I don't want to ignore that. So I'm going to answer some of them right now. And then I'll show you exactly how we're going to give you a little bit more confidence on that. So as far as refunds, we have a 3 times your investment guarantee, or you get 100% refund. So most companies have like a money back guarantee. We have a 3 times your investment guarantee, or you get 100% refund. And what that looks like is, in order to be applicable for that, you have to attend your game planning call, which is pretty standard. You'd have to attend at least all of your one-on-one coaching calls, which is only 2 per month, 1 group support call each week, charge at least the bare minimum suggested prices of $250 or more per services per client, no late payments, run a scholarship program within the first 90 days, which is only going to get you a lot of clients. And don't spend longer than 2 weeks on the optional certification. If you do all that, you show up and you do the work and use our resources with our community and with our coaches, we guarantee you will 3 times the amount you invested, or you get 100% refund. And year to date, we've helped over 3,000 students. We've only had a return of 1.6%.
Is there like a paper or something, that a document saying all that I sign?
Yeah, at the end of the presentation, I'll show you it. So I'll show you like the exact same thing that I laid out. You can see it verbally, or you can see it in visually, and then also in your client agreement, it says the same thing as well. And all of our agreements are done through a lawyer, so there's no funny business. The other thing is, I want you to pay attention in the very beginning. I mentioned that we are accredited through the Better Business Bureau. So if you're familiar with that, it's basically a company that like legitimizes legal businesses. So that you get like a report card score from like an A+ to an F. We got an A out of a possible A+. So a lot of other business companies or online companies are not accredited through the Better Business Bureau. So you could actually go to the Better Business Bureau, look us up, and will you see some complaints? You'll see about 4 or 5 out of 3,000 students, but that's any company, right? The thing with the Better Business Bureau is, if there's a complaint, they have to investigate it. We have not lost a single investigation yet. So that should give you a little bit more of reassurance, because we're leaving that up there for you to read, but we're also very transparent on what we do, such as like going through this modules. I'm showing you every step by step what's exactly in our course, nothing hidden.
Okay. Just making sure. I mean, I did
Of
see
course.
some news of people that were saying like things that they weren't getting their refund and things like that, but you see that everywhere with anything. And it's always
Correct.
based on a person's personal experience. But on my end, I just want to make sure that I get to read and see everything that I sign.
Yep, for absolutely. At the end of this, if we move forward, I share my screen, I send you stuff, we go over it together. So you can see exactly what I'm doing. There's nothing hidden that I'm doing ever. And the other thing is some of the ones that aren't getting their refunds because they didn't fulfill their end of the bargain, right? So like you said, you'll go to a lot of places and people will put down they didn't get what they wanted, but they also didn't do the work that was required. Ours is laid out very clearly that you have to do the bare basics. And at
Mm,
the end of this conversation, I'll show you exactly what I just listed off. But those individuals that didn't get their refunds because they didn't do what was expected of them, the basics.
makes sense.
Cool. All right, from there, we're going to move into organic marketing. We're going to show you how to do 1 hour's worth of work and get 14 different pieces of content created. And then we're going to show you how to set up podcasts and YouTube so we can expand our reach so more people can understand what your message is and what you're all about. And then we'll show you how to market for all things Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok related. So it's more than just randomly posting. It's very specific resources and strategies that we like to implement on each platform. We do data analytics. We track, everything down to the hashtag use, page aesthetics, reels, storylines. We implement everything to make sure that we're getting the most engagement possible. We even show you how to maximize TikTok as well.
Okay.
Content creation. Go ahead.
Is it going to be a problem I don't use TikTok?
No, so you're going to want to use whatever platform that your person hangs out with at mostly. So for instance, I cater to high-level CEOs that are men 35 to 50. If you're 35 to 50 and you're a high-level CEO, I hope you're not hanging out on TikTok. Otherwise, we got problems, right? So mine is more focused toward maybe Facebook, and my Instagram is actually just like connected to it. So majority of my leads are coming through Facebook, believe it or not.
Okay.
So you utilize whatever platform that you're going to find the majority of the people that you're going to be engaging with. Okay.
Do you also help clients learn how to make a website or anything like that? Do they do that? Or
Yeah,
you
they'll go over that. They'll go over that, but that's something you won't need. You won't need to make a website right out the gate first. We want to make sure that you have. A lot of people want to make websites, but if you don't have any type of testimonials or reviews, it's hard for people to really want to get engaged, right? So our focal point first is just to build up your confidence, get you paying clients, and then we do all the fine tuning as we continue to scale our business, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
initially, we're just trying to get people in the door, get you some momentum, start, changing some lives, impacting some people. So some of your testimonials aren't even just going to be physical. It's going to be like, hey, I worked with Kendall for 5 months and man, like my life, my perspective shifted. I became healthier mentally and physically. Or some people say, hey, I lost X amount of weight. There's going to be a multitude of ways that we can really market for you, teach you how to market. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes.
Cool. Content creation made easy. This is going to introduce you to Canva Pro, Canva Basic, and Microsoft Designer. This is a great way to add, make your page more aesthetically pleasing. We want you to think of your social media kind of like a storefront. We want people to be enticed to want to come by and check what Kendall's got going on. So we'll teach you how to edit it. We'll teach you how to, maximize this look and make it look more organized as well. 10K lead generation framework. There's 3 different ways we do this. The first of which is what we call earned media. I want you to think of this as like inbound marketing or people coming specifically to you. So the cool thing is you already use WhatsApp group. So we're going to show you again how to implement that and why it's important. And then from there, we'll give you specific protocols to get people filtered in. So cross-pollination free resources, virtual strategies. My favorite is the scholarship strategy. It gets a lot of people engaged. And now that we have that WhatsApp group set up, they have the opportunity to talk with people that you're already servicing. So they get a better idea of who you are and what you're about. Now, the opposite of that is what we call conversation and calls or outbound marketing. So we talked about this earlier, really, maximizing your outreach in your local community, but also we'll give you specific scripts. We'll give you conversation and call examples, but more importantly, we'll show you where to find all these leads on all 3 platforms. We'll teach you how to nurture and build these relationships, have more intimate one-on-one conversations. So by the time they get on that sales call, they feel a lot more comfortable with you and they have an understanding of who you are and what you're about. From there, we'll move into referral strategy. The easiest way to grow your business: friends, families, coworkers, talking about how amazing you are. So you have a ton of people that you work with. So we want to maximize that, right? You have a whole list of women that you work with all around the world, people talking about how amazing Kendall is and what she's provided for them. So we're going to teach you different resources and strategies to get people to want to bring you more referrals without you actually having to ask. And then if you're going to be a fitness entrepreneur or a mindset coach or whatever it is that you really want to tailor to, you got to be good at sales. So we'll teach you how to maximize your sales skills, and we'll teach you the psychology behind that. So we can set up 2 types of phone calls. The first is a meet and greet. It's like a 10 to 15 minute phone call to figure out if you really want to work with that individual and if you can actually solve their problems. So we'll give you real-time examples with our coaches. The second of which is what we call the closing call, trying to lock down that lead, turn them into a client. We'll give you specific scripts. We'll give you conversation and call examples. More importantly, we'll teach you how to do objection handling. So those are going to be all the excuses someone's going to give to you. We'll teach you how to create downsells and discounts, even creating financing options for people who normally couldn't afford it. This will be a game changer for your business. And then again, how to lock down that lead once and for all. Once we lock down that lead, we want to go back. We want to track all this. We want to track how many calls were booked, how many showed, how many closed, and at what length of term. So we give you all of our resources to track this more efficiently. We want to make sure there's predictable data every single month. Objection handling, again, this is all the excuses someone's going to give to you. We give you over 30 different examples over and over. You're going to hear nonstop. So the more you can familiarize yourself with this, the easier it is to overcome those objections and help them get them rolling on the right path. Onboarding process, the first 30 days in your program, standards, expectations are created here. What does the onboarding process look like? What does daily or weekly check-ins look like? Just essentially creating trust and making sure that we're getting a resource in their hands within that first 24 to 48 hours while we're building out their programs. Client delivery is the fun stuff, week-to-week process and how we deliver services, but we're going to show you how to do this more efficiently utilizing ChatGPT and AI software. And then we'll also teach you what happens when someone ghosts you, they quit, they don't want to listen. It's going to happen. Happens to all of us. So usually there's a reason behind this. Some of them want to feel like they're a part of a larger community. Some want more individualized touch points. Some want to be challenged, and some want to be incentivized to do what's already expected of them. So we'll give you resources and strategies to get people to want to execute at a higher level on a more consistent basis. From there, we're going to move into customer support, the not so fun side of things, cancellations, refund requests. How do we handle it? How do we track it? How do we mitigate it for the upcoming months? And then lastly, we'll move into client retention. How can we keep people happy for longer periods of time and advance them to higher levels of our program? We'll teach you strategies behind that, and then also how to track that from month to month. Quick recap, and we'll answer the rest of your questions. Sound good?
Yes.
All right. The program itself is 4 months long. You're going to have that customized game planning call. You'll have that one-on-one coach the entire 4 months. You're going to have one-on-one coaching calls every 2 weeks. You'll have a one-on-one sales coach. You'll have the Facebook community and CEO trainings, 5 times a week of group support calls, 24/5 tech support, done for you programming, and optional certification in the business course curriculum. Is there anything you feel like we're missing here?
No, not that I can think of.
Awesome. What questions do you have for me?
Um, I just had a question and it slipped my mind again because I was listening. I write them down usually, but I was just so engrossed in like all the resources you have. So this is a 4-month program. Am I able, like, say I'm like, yeah, I really want to do this, but like not right now. Like I can't start till next month for whatever reason. Like, is that an option that I can do?
Yeah. So what we could do is a delayed start date.
Okay.
So what we could do is lock you in to make sure that you're getting locked in at a lower price, and then we can always delay start it for 30 or 60 days, whatever it is you're looking to get started at.
Okay. I don't see on here that like the Zenpreneurship, is that still something, the mindset thing that you were telling me
Yeah,
about?
that's part of it in there as well. So that's going to be all inside of, yeah. Yep. I actually on your client agreement, it'll list that out as well.
Okay. And then it says the certified online coach. That's what I was also worrying about in the curriculum. I
Yep.
definitely interested in that. Um, I can't really think of anything else. The only question that I did have was It sounds like so there's a lot of resources on there. Is there an expectation for me, at a certain amount of time to get all of those done, or was it just the curriculum part?
Great
Like,
question. So ideally, we want to have the curriculum done within 4 months. So you can dictate like 10 to 20 hours per week. You're in a solid spot to move forward a lot faster. Now let's look at this though. Your goals where you were just happy with maybe 1 to 2K a month, you can afford to take your time a little bit longer. If you were trying to get to that 10K in that 4 month time frame, we just want to like, look over how realistic that is based upon the time that you have available. Okay, so right now, if your goal is not 10K, which is totally fine, our goal, it sounds like to me, is you just want to build something solid that's going to impact you, it's going to impact other individuals, but it's going to genuinely help a lot of people. Am I right?
yes.
So for you, if you can dictate, like I said, 10 to 20 hours per week, you're going to be surpassing your original goal by, by a lot. Like it happens a lot faster than you think. But if you want to move a little bit slower, you totally can. But at least this allows us to get up all your foundations. It allows you to get certified. It allows you to get all your legality set up. It allows you to have all your payment processes. And then in the meantime, we're also getting a couple of clients each month, which would be phenomenal, just to kind of build that momentum and that confidence. Do you feel
And,
like you could dictate 10 to 20 hours per week?
maybe not 20. I'm thinking I could create a work day on my Mondays I have off, and then have some hours in between on some of the other days.
Yeah. So
I
another,
I would make it happen. It's just I don't want to get so engrossed in it that I'm forgetting about my boyfriend and my dog and my family, because I did that before. Like when they tell you doing all the vital behaviors and then you're doing all the things. And then I found myself doing it so much and not getting anywhere that I was leaving behind what all the other parts of my life. And I just want to make sure I'm structured and I don't do that again, if that
yeah,
makes.
that's a great point. So what we're doing is we're not going to want to add anything additional to your plate. We're just trying to manage the time that you currently have available and make it the most optimal as possible. So you know what? Maybe you don't have 20 hours. Maybe maybe you don't even have 10. Maybe we start off at just realistically start off at just 5 hours per week, an hour a day, 5 days a week. Right now, I'm gonna tell you how I did it. Okay. So when I was an in-person trainer, a master level trainer for over 15 years. So last year I had over 40 clients I trained in person 2 to 3 times a week. That's a lot of training. Okay. So I was up from 4:30, not getting home till 8:30. So how I was able to fit this in is I got resourceful with my time. So driving to the gym, I'd pop in a module and listen. On the way home, pop in a module, listen. Before I worked out, while I was doing cardio, popped in a module, listen. If I was out for a walk, popped a module in and listen. During lunch break. So by the time I got home, all I had to do was just execute what it told me to do in the steps. Now,
Mm.
that way, there's going to be some days where you're not going to have really any time available. So for me, Thursdays was always like a very, very busy day to where I couldn't get much done. So Sundays, I didn't train clients, but Sundays was a family day, like non-negotiable. I would wake up 2 hours earlier than the rest of my family. I'd pop in a module. I'd maybe do in 2 hours just to make up for what I didn't do in the week. And then I had the rest of the day to go to church, spend time with my family. Because at the end of the day, you're right. We're doing this to create a lifestyle that is going to be beneficial for you to where you can travel, where you can be around individuals that you truly love, because you want to have a nice balance, right? You don't want to feel overwhelmed. We want to make sure we're doing this for the right reasons.
Right.
So even if we can just dictate, like, dude, if you could just even do 30 to 45 minutes a day and just show up to your calls, you're going to make progress.
Right.
The cool thing too is as you click on these modules and you click on the overview links, those links will be sent like saved directly to your Google Docs. So you'll have it anyways.
Oh, that's good.
Matter
That's
of
good.
fact, I want to give you some context on what that looks like. I meant to do that. I apologize. I got sidetracked. Let me show you what this looks like. Let's just do one where a lot of people would struggle. So say for instance, like the backend systems. Okay. So here you'll click on where it says overview document. So
Hmm.
click on this, and this will literally go step by step in written on exactly what to do. So this would save to your Google Docs.
Wow.
So it says how to, and it goes step by step for you.
That's cool.
Now, for me, I'm a visual learner, so I'll watch it first, then read it for me to make sense. So I'll go through here. It shows you exactly what to do. And then as you go to the video, let's just say you're going to set up wave for payment. So you click on here and then boom.
So, is
Oops.
you, how long has this existed for? This,
So NLCA has been going on since 2020.
oh wow. So right during the pandemic.
So Chad started his online stuff when he was back in like 2015 when he was running his own company. And so then after 2015, he mastered all this, and that's how NLCA came about. So in 2020, he launched it. And now since 2020, we've helped over 3,000 students at a very high success rate, which I kind of want to go into next because I think this is going to help you out quite a bit. But before I do, I want to share 2 testimonials, one of which I think you're really going to resonate. Okay. So this is Karina. Karina was making about $2K a month. Her goal was not to have a massive empire. Her goal was, I want to travel and be around my kids. That's all she wanted. First tattoo indicates when she started NLCA. Bottom tattoo indicates when she quit her job. After 6 months, she was contracting 10 to 12K months on a regular basis. She's now making 15K a month. She works 35 hours a week and she just and travels with her kids.
Wow.
The reason I showed her is because you mentioned you wanted to balance with family. You wanted to make sure you had time for the boyfriend and you want to help impact other people. That's exactly what she's doing, right? And she's doing it in under 40 hours a week. And then on the flip side, you know, you got people like this. Serena, I share you her because you've always been kind of like the body, the stuff that you're affiliated with. You're kind of like someone that helps other people, but you never took in the front seat, so to speak, like the spotlight on you. Serena was very similar. She was always an assistant coach for a group class. She finally made that jump. In her first month launching her business, she contracted 15K and collected over 6.5 that same month. Now she has 34 clients, and before she had 0. So
wow.
she got that confidence in herself. It's like, hey, I can do this. I don't have to have someone else leading. I can do this myself. She believed in herself, followed the steps, and now she went from having 0 clients to now she has 34. She's successful. And me and you talked earlier, I think over voice memo, about how now you're to the point you don't want to be in your own way anymore. You're ready to take that step, that leap of faith. And I think now is a great time for you because you've been through so much and you have so much to share with individuals. And that's why I shared those 2. I already talked about Lacey. That was the one I was telling you about, who is a mindset coach. So she's more focused on the mindset things, but she does have elements of health and fitness, such as programming and nutrition, because that's going to be important, right? But she was the one that was in a really bad spot during COVID, financially in a bad spot, mentally in a bad spot, physically in a bad spot, right? After 6 months later, hit 10K a month. So that's like 120K a year. And now she's a mindset coach with us. So that's huge. Now, averages, you mentioned that you wanted to kind of know what the averages were. A lot of individuals show off their top 10 percenters. We like to show you what the basic student's doing. So 73% of our students sign their client in month 1. On average, it takes them just 1 week to do it. Cool stat behind this. The individuals that sign their client in month 1, by the end of month 4, are averaging over 8K per month. The individuals that don't sign their client in month 1, but by the end of month 4, are averaging over 6,500. So just to be a basic, mediocre student, just to do just the bare basics, you could expect to make 6,500 to 8K, which is still really phenomenal. This is pretty cool too. I know you're not wanting to quit your job, but it kind of gives you some context on how fast this can happen. On average, people are quitting their job in 10.6 weeks to go full-time on their online fitness business. That's insane. And then the students who stay with us 12 months have 97 clients on their roster on average. Those individuals that stay with us for 12 months that have 97 clients, that's averaging 366,000 per year at 97 clients is the average. So they're creating a lot of impact. They have that financial stability. They're able to travel. They have that flexibility, have that freedom. They're able to do whatever they want when they want. Right. And then right now, our students are grading the program a 4.6 out of 5, which is really good. Any questions on the averages?
No.
How are we feeling now?
Thank you for sharing your story too, how you got into this, because I was going to ask you that, how you found.
My wife gave me an ultimatum because I was an in-person trainer and I was making really good money. I was charging about $150 a session. session. So, 40 sessions 2 to 3 times a week's really good money, but I was never home for my kids. And so she's like, hey, we love that you're making money, but these kids need to make sure they're making memories with you. They don't really care about the finances that you bring in. I mean, obviously that's important to
Oh,
take care of your family, but they wanted me to be more present. And so that's
right.
exactly what I did. It was a transition period. So yeah, that's kind of how I did it. And that's how, kind of like you're really sold on the Shakeology. I'm sold on an LCA because I know what they can do for students because I was one, right? So I think this is going to be something that can really benefit you and impact you in a lot of ways. What other questions do you have
The other
for
question
me?
I have, so if I were to deviate, like I still share the body products, but if I were to deviate and do my own business, you said that there's an option that it like literally creates a workout program for your clientele.
Correct. Yep. Done for you
That
program.
I've never heard of something like that before. So would my one-on-one coach work with me on that? Because I honestly still am trying to even figure out what this even looks like to me. All
Yeah.
I know
So
is a story to share, and I just want people to I want to help them get through the hardest times of their lives. And I know there's a lot of people struggling that had knee surgery. Like, I feel like that's my clientele, honestly. Um,
yep. So those programs are, I love that. I love that because that you're right. Anyone with an injury is overwhelming. Like when you have a knee, I had double quad tendon surgery a year ago.
oh gosh.
So when I
Yeah.
watch people run or jog outside, I was like, man, I remember when I used to be able to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Just the simplest things. Now, the cool thing about having those injuries is once you are healed, you don't take for granted those
Mm,
little simple things that you have every day, right? Just being able to
right.
walk is a
Right.
blessing. So
Yep.
those done for you programs are already done to where there's drop down menus. So maybe if squat's not a good option for your individual, there'll be a different type of leg movement that you can just implement in there. So again, it saves hours and hours of time, and your coach will help give you the resources and guide you specifically toward what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
How are we
Uh,
feeling so far? Does this check off all the boxes that you're looking for?
yes. Also though, what if I didn't, I'm just hypothetically asking this question. What if I didn't even go the route of growing my podcast or something? Like, does this company hire people?
So we give you agency outsourcing options when you're ready to make specific changes or enhancements. And we offer that based upon really what you're bringing in, because we don't want to tell you to go after something like, for instance, an example, a lot of individuals will spend money on paid ads. And they don't even know how to sell. So yes, they have these leads coming in, but then they're wasted because they don't know how to handle them. Their back-end systems aren't set up. They don't know how to efficiently sell. They don't have their product locked in. They're not sure really what they're offering. So they're just wasted money, right? So
Mm,
how we work things is usually we don't talk about running ads till you're hitting about 10K, 8 to 10K on a regular basis. We'll talk to you about when to bring on a DMer if that's something that you want to remove yourself from down the road. We'll also talk about like when to bring on an assistant coach, but it's going to be based upon metrics. As as you're bringing more money and we have that return of investment, then we'll tell you when to like implement certain things. We have people that can help you create content. We have all sorts of different stuff that we can provide resources for if you don't want to do it yourself that you could invest in. But the main focal point is to teach you how to do this. So when you do hire out, you're not getting cheated, because we've had people come from companies before that literally provided everything for them. They found the leads, they did all this other stuff. But when those companies sold out or went under, those individuals had no idea how to run anything on their own. And essentially they lost the majority of their clients because they didn't know how to actually run their own business. You don't want to be enslaved to another company. Does that make sense?
yeah. I think that answered all my questions.
Cool. Do you feel like, we know that this checked off all your boxes, but do you feel like now you can, this will give you the results that you're looking for to create that freedom and that impact for others that you want to help?
Yeah, I do.
Are you 100% confident in your own skill set and abilities to follow through with the structured program with the accountability and support we're providing?
Yes.
I love it. So this is something we got to commit to, right?
I mean, I'm just curious how much it costs. That's really like what, like, I hate that money. I don't like money holding me back from anything. That's the
Cool.
thing.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So I already went over, I kind of want to remind you, we went over the 3 times your investment guarantee, which I'll show you again at the very end. So I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. But there'll be a payment plan and there'll be a paid in full. Okay. Payment plan means we put down a down payment, we spread the rest out over 4 months or whatever established terms. Paid in full just means we pay the whole thing up front. We save a significant amount of money. Now, this is the beauty of this. I told you via voice memo, finance is the easiest thing for me to work around. We have extended payment plans, we have financing options. So we had just confirmed this is in 100% alignment with what you're looking for, correct?
Yes.
I will find something that makes sense that works for you financially. Okay, no matter what. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about it. What's the
I have a question for you though. I meant to ask. Sorry.
Yeah,
How long have you been doing this for?
I've been with the company now for over 1.5 years. So I went into coaching with them over 1 year ago, and now I've been doing this position for just about 6 months.
Okay,
So I
cool.
have my own coaching company, so I make money that way. My wife is like a full-time, she's like a nurse as well. So she's a hospice liaison. And then we also, and then I also have this position. So I have we have 3 sources of income coming in right now.
Nice.
So
Okay.
as you mentioned, your mama taught you well, have more than one source of income coming in.
Right. Told me that my parents got divorced, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll remember that. I was in college. I was like, whatever. But I
Yeah.
had
All right, you ready to talk about this thing?
yes.
All right, it's only $100,000 in your left kidney. I'm just playing.
God.
No, there's going to be a payment plan of $7,300 and then a paid full option that saves you $800 at $6,500. Out of those two, which do you think works best for you?
You gotta look at this. What is it?
So the payment plan is $7,300. So we just put a down payment. We spread the rest out over 4 months. Or the paid in full just means we pay the whole thing up front. We save $800.
Okay. I like literally do not even own that amount in my bank account. I'm not gonna lie. So
No
sorry, I'm
worries.
like really close to the screen because I can't see very well.
No worries.
So the 7,300 is a payment plan broken down in time
Yep.
within 4 months or longer.
So we can do 2 things. Okay. So let's talk about if you want to use extended payment plans or financing options. We'll start that and then we'll work in reverse. Cool.
Okay.
Okay. So what the average person will put down for a 7,300 payment plan, they'll put down about 2,300. Okay. That takes your payment down to 5,000. We spread 5,000 out over 4 months. That's equivalent to just over $1,250 per month, which is you needing about 3 to 5 clients pending what you're charging. Okay. Now, if you want, is that something that you feel like you could work with?
No, I can't put down 2,300 right
Nope.
now. No.
No problem. So let's talk about if we spread it out over 6 months. Okay. So if you did it over 6 months, oh yeah, you already said that you can't do 2,300 down. Because the other one, if you put 2,500 down, they'll allow you to spread it out over 6 months, but then your monthly payments after that, put 2,500 down, you spread that out over the remaining time. That would be equivalent to $960 per month. So that's under 1,000, which is again, you needing 3 to 5 clients pending what you're charging. Okay. So the reason they have a little bit larger down payment so the recurring amount doesn't seem so as overwhelming. Now, let me ask you this. How good's our credit? Good, bad, great, awesome, amazing, shitty? What's it look like?
Well, my credit is, I would say, decent. It's good. But I also try really hard to not use the credit card thing. My
Sure.
dad is a financial advisor, and we talk about this stuff a lot actually, because I used to open a lot of cards. I don't
Sure.
do that anymore.
Sure.
So, but I do have good credit.
Okay. Are we talking like 600s, 500s? Are you up in the 700s? What are you looking like?
I believe last time I looked at it, I was like 650 to 700.
Okay. So we got a couple different options, one of which will work for sure. It's got like a 90% success rate. It's called Sweet Pay. What that allows us to do is we take that 7,300 and we spread that out over 12 months instead of 4. So that means a significantly less down payment, a significantly less reoccurring amount. So I'm gonna break out my calculator because I'm not a mathematician. I'm gonna be honest with you. So the cool thing is it's only 5% down. So 7,300 times 0.05, that'd be 365. plus a one-time service activation fee of $59 would be, plus 59 would be $424. Okay, so to get going today, hypothetically, would be $424. Your next payment wouldn't be due until the end of July. That payment would be equivalent to about $622 per month ongoing. That's like you needing 2 clients if you're charging like $300.
Okay.
Is that something more realistic for you?
You can still hear me because it's frozen.
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit.
It's my Wi-Fi.
Do you want me to call you? You there? Oh, you
Sorry
there?
about that. I don't know what happened. The Wi-Fi thing, it goes in and out at my house. I'm sorry.
It's no problem. No problem.
So just to reiterate, so I understand correctly, I've never heard of Sweet Pay, but they'll do the 7,312 months with a less down payment. Down payment's $424 when I start. It's a 5% down payment and then a $59 activation fee. Is that included in the $424 or no?
Yeah, that's so the 5% down would have been the three. Yep, the 5% would have been the $365 plus the $59 brings you to the $424.
Okay, and then it's $622 a month.
Yeah, as of yep. So say for instance, your next payment would be due at the end of July. From July on, it would be $622, which is equivalent to you needing about 2 to 2.5 clients per month is all you need to make that back. I always like to put the amount of clients you would need. That's how I kind of phrase it.
That's a really good perspective too, that it's like paying back for the course. So I recently just moved in actually with my boyfriend, and I'm working on paying off my credit card right now that
Yeah.
I used when I lived on my own because it costs an arm and a leg to live here right now with rent. But this is something that I definitely would be very interested in. Like I would tell you I'm like 70-80% like interested in just doing this right now, but I don't think that I can sign up at this very moment. I'd like a few days to think about it if that's okay, so I can actually go through my finances and things like that, because I'm not even at home right now to even look at my book. Like everything's at my house. I'm at my mom's house right now. Is
Yeah.
that something that would be okay with you? I don't know when you need to know by, or
There's no specific cutoff date. Now, if you're open to me challenging you, I'm going to tell you my own personal experience. Is that fair?
of course.
So when I went through it, so there's going to be a different feelings, right? When we're talking about 7,300, whether it's in a loan or not, it's a lot of money, right? Period. So this is the thing. You're eligible for something that's very unique. I would like to try one more option, but I'm going to tell you this first. You have pretty good credit. I want to try it out. It's worth seeing what we have available. But when I said I was going to call the person back, it took me 4 months. Why? Because I'm old school. I don't like the internet. I didn't like a lot of the things. And we make decisions based upon our previous habits. So my hypothalamus, which is your brain, will tell you, hey, get off this phone call. Kendall, I'm gonna think about it. Just pretend we're switching roles. As soon as I get out that phone 10 minutes later, my brain's gonna be like, dude, what the hell are you thinking? $7,300? No, we don't do this, right? Because your brain will tell you based upon previous experiences. Now, you need to take action based upon where you want to see yourself and where you feel you're going to create the most impact, not based upon your current circumstances. So the best coaches, the best entrepreneurs are those that do make relatively fast decisions, because if you're going to be in business, you have to make them on the fly. Are those decisions always going to be 100% perfect? No, but those individuals now are committed to that decision, and they rarely change their minds, if ever. Whereas individuals that do overthink, over research, or over analyze, it takes them a lot longer to make a decision, and they change their mind more frequently. They're not able to commit to things nearly as longer. So if we're looking at making that drastic change, as we talked about, for your family, for yourself, and not getting in your own way, this is essentially that kind of that moment where you're like, am I getting in my way again? Think about this. I want you to think of your like this. You're $424 away from not having to worry about any type of financial issues again, because you had that 3 times your investment guarantee. So you mentioned earlier you're 100% confident in your skill set to just follow the structured game plan. If you do that and show up, can't fail. This is kind of the beauty of it. The worst case scenario, you do what you're supposed to, you don't get 3 times your investment back. Guess what? You get your money back. So there's really no risk behind that.
So if I were to do like the sweet pay one, say that I'm like, okay, I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm not sure, like, and I say I want to like not do it anymore. Would you give me back the money that I've invested thus far in it or no?
So there's a certain time frame. I think it's believed from like the 1st through the 15th or something like that, to where you would get a percentage back. And then I think I'd have to get I don't know for sure. I'd have to find that out. But then there's like a date from like the 21st. After the 21st day in, it's like paying out 50% of the remaining balance or something like that. So if you had those things, and this is what you'd want to know for your own business too, because we're going to also teach you how to do contracts as well. You don't want to just have it to where people are like, after like 10 days, like, oh, I want my money back, right? Because then they've
Right.
already obtained certain information and they're not even really giving you a shot. If I were you, I'd want to go into the mindset of, there is no plan B. This is it. I'm going to commit to this because I truly want to help individuals. And the only way I can help individuals is if I actually help myself and follow through and take action. Right now, you've got millions of women out there waiting specifically for you to drop your program. Nothing's worked for them, and you're that one thing away from their miracle or their breakthrough. So if you feel like coaching is exactly what you're called for, if you don't take action, it's not just affecting you, you've just now impacted other people in the opposite direction than what we wanted to. That's how I would think of it.
So the reason I was asking that is because I know you mentioned like the success rate, and then, oh, if that's not met, your money is going to be given back to you. Like you're going to be refunded. That's why I was wondering, because if it's
Yeah.
different versus a payment plan versus like out front, all of that.
No, so you might have a 12-month loan, right? The cool thing about this though is that the program's 4 months and you've 3 times your investment in that point in time, you can pay that thing off early with no penalties, right? So that doesn't matter if you're on a payment plan, a paid in full. The beautiful thing about a paid in full is you don't have to worry about the late payment aspect of it. It's already paid up, right? So the payment plan just means to make sure that we're making our payments, on time. But it doesn't matter if it's over a 12-month. Like, there's one that I want us to try out. It's worth a shot because you have good credit and it's worth a shot. It's called Fund My Contract. And what that allows us to do is we take that 7,300 and break it up into much smaller payments. Like, for instance, a guy got approved for like an 84-month loan yesterday. His
Wow.
monthly payments was like $160 a month, right? Now, it's a 6 or 12 month same as cash. I think he got like a 6 month same as cash. So essentially, if he pays off that 7,300 back before the end of 6 months, it's 0 interest, right? If you're 3 times your investment, you can pay that thing off early. That's the premise behind it. If not, you're just making your smaller payment. So it doesn't matter if you did it in 6 or 12. If you 3 times your investment and you did exactly what's on your list, you'll get your
Pay it
refund.
off.
Oop. Hold on. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So essentially, it doesn't matter what type of loan or how long a term it is. Your course itself is 4 months long. So by the end of 4 months, if you did exactly as we laid out, you'll 3 times your investment. If you don't, you get a refund. It's that
So
simple.
what you're saying is like, it doesn't matter if you do payment plans or not, like you meet that, great. If you're not, then like, okay, refund. So it doesn't matter how you're like,
Correct.
you
So
get up, it's paid in full, but it's not because you're doing payment plans.
correct. So say, for instance, if you do the sweet pay thing and you're killing it or you're not killing it, whatever the case may be, but you're doing everything you're supposed to, and it's the end of 4 months and you're not happy or you haven't hit your goals, they'll just refund you your money.
Okay. What was the other option that you were going to tell me about?
Yeah, that one's called Fund My Contract. It's
Okay.
really good. If you have upper credit, it's worth a shot. Now they're going to be growing your credit based on multitude of things like income to debt ratio. It's not just if you have good credit. So it's like a 50-50 shot of getting approved, but it's totally worth seeing if we can get approved for it. Because like I said, it takes those 7,300, makes it a little bit more manageable. The other option that we have that might be good for you, do you have a PayPal account?
Yes.
Okay, so go to paypal.com/credit really quick.
I only have my phone, so I can
Do you
do it
want me to
right.
do it?
Sure.
Are
If you
you,
don't mind, I mean, I can do it. It's just my video and stuff is gonna get
no,
turned.
let me do it. We'll just do it together. Cool. I'm not gonna save your password or anything like that. You can always change it after this, but I wanna see what, so you can kind of see what we get approved for.
Oh, well, oh, so you want me to like put my information?
Correct.
Let me see. I'll see if it'll work here for me.
Okay.
So just sign in.
Yep, so you just sign in,
Okay.
and
All
then
right.
from
I'm glad
there,
you can still hear me, right?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I'm logged in.
Okay, so you'll go to paypal.com/credit, and then you're gonna hit you should see something that says apply. And you're just applying for a line of credit, not the credit card.
I just spelled it wrong. Okay. Okay. Apply now.
Yep. And it's just gonna ask you for some basic information. You'll fill
It's not
that
gonna,
in.
sorry, it's not gonna charge me anything right now, is it?
No, this is a light credit check just to see what you get approved for.
Okay. I just have to fill out, oh my goodness. I just only moved a month ago and I just didn't change my address on there. Gotta change that real fast.
Yeah,
I've
totally
moved
get
like
that.
so many times. Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
That's funny you live in Omaha. My cousin played hockey in college and lived there for a little while.
Oh, did you play for UNO?
I'm not, I think so, I'm not sure. He went to Princeton and then like he was staying there for a little while
Oh, very
in
cool.
Omaha. Yeah.
It's cost of living is cheap down here. It's great if you want to raise a family, you and your boyfriend get to that point, cost of living is significantly lower.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's got a lot of great school systems out here for kids. So we moved out here, and then we moved to the Miller district because the education is really good. So we got 5 kiddos. So we want to make sure they're set for success.
Hmm. Okay. I just did my annual income. I don't know, like, I should know like the more of the amount here, but I don't.
What's it asking you?
Let's see, like my annual income.
So what are you bringing about a month from your Surge Tech job?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now. Times 2 times 12. Okay, got it. We'll send an email. You're applying for a credit line that is subject to interest. We're sending an email.
Yep. So check that. And now when you get it, don't accept it. You're just looking to see what you got approved for.
Okay.
Now, the premise behind this, the reason why I'm
Cool.
having you do this is because this is 6 months, same as cash. So whatever you get approved for and whatever we actually utilize, as long as we pay out before 6 months, it's 0 interest.
So I just did that and it said your new credit line is $750. You're approved for PayPal credit. PayPal credit will be in your wallet automatically when you check out with PayPal.
Yep. So don't hit anything yet. So you got approved $750. That's essentially okay. So you could always don't use that now, but you use that like as a nest egg, as a backup plan. So you have $750 there. Okay. So say for instance, you could go with now you could go to Sweet Pay, and then for sure if your monthly payments is 622, you know that just in case you're moving a little bit slower, you have 1 month already taken care of in that back support system for you already, if you had to utilize it.
So that was just, wait, that's not in my PayPal account right now, right?
No, you didn't accept it. You just
Okay.
it was a light check to see what you got approved for.
So that's like what I am approved for per month is 750.
No,
Is
you're
that?
just approved for 750 in totality for PayPal credit.
Oh, okay. I
So
see what
once
you're
you
saying.
hit approve or accept, then it'll start pulling. So that's why I said do not hit
Yeah.
accept. Don't do that.
Okay. I'm gonna cancel out of that because I don't want to accidentally click something. I've done that before.
Yeah, I'm pretty,
That's not good. How do I get out of that? Because it just says
it's just verifying that you have that there. You don't have to utilize it. So just log out. There.
your new credit line is, and then it says continue.
Yeah, don't hit continue.